Take a dog, put him in the water. First thing he does is this. Take a dog, hold him up in the air. First thing he does is this. So in the air and in the water, he's doing this. Now all of a sudden, I've got hypnotized. I just got hypnotized and I had an anxiety attack. I had to erase it. There was some kind of show on. They were singing. The women were dressed. They were naked, but they were dressed. But it was almost made like they were naked, and the lights can change everything. And I felt the music inside of me. I saw the crowd smiling. I saw that they were all indwelled in it. And I said to myself, all this money, we can't just live a poor life. We take care of our kids. We take care of the kids. They have their fun. We become the adults that teach them. Should we be any different? Should we do different than just go on to live our own life? Yes, we do it. The child comes home, Dad, I haven't seen you in 10 years, but I need some advice. He let you live your life. You let him live his life. But usually you'd like to see your son a little bit more often, or your daughter. Or at least that's the way I look at it. But you can be anything you like, but you can never push them away. Just like the child can't push you away. If the child pushes you away and you're away from them, well, guess what? Someone did something to keep the difference. Somebody did something to keep the difference. Now, I'm feeling a little bit better now, but oh my God, I was like lost. It was like I was all alone and teaching myself again how to stay on top of my game. Keeping the compression. Imagine if this was the top of the screen and this was the bottom. I need to keep compression in between this. If there's no compression and I float here, I do not connect. The positive and the negative are above and below. If I connect the two, I continue the cycle. If I break that cycle, or it could be the opposite of what I'm saying, I fall into anxiety where the mind says, or is it the mind or what they instilled inside our mind so it should think this way to recalibrate ourselves? Is there a place, as in what I'm doing right now, that it doesn't matter where we are, we should never get depressed. We should never have bipolar. But since we have to come into a world where we need both extremities, both ends open, okay, in order to learn, okay, all angles, we need to feel. If we don't feel, how do we go deep and delve inside the reality of how do we perceive the reality if we do not go all the way? Because our depth might not be the same depth as another. So if all the depths are 5 down or 5 up, how do we not go 6? Well, you're always at 7. I'm always at 4. There's a difference of 2 in between plus 1 to make us equal. We will always have, because that is what can we say? That's the way the system was made. If we made us all the same, hi Charlie, hi Ronald, hi Charlie, hi Ronald, what'd you do today? And smile for everybody, then you're not making the matrix, not the matrix, but the spirit world work. I'm not going to come out here. I can talk about disorders. I can talk about planets. I can talk about the elements. I can talk about the zodiac. I can talk about anything in numbers. But I am no scientist. I don't know what MC squared is, and I can barely figure it out what 2 squared is unless it's 2 times 2 is 4. Okay? Because for me, if I had to go 2 squares, I'd have to say there's 12 sides. MC squared, right? MC squared. But if C was squared, we would have a minimum of 3. C is the 3rd letter. This is my reality. With 3, there's 1 in the middle. With 3, we can have 1 on top, which is in the middle of 2. Leaving the center of these 2 with no passage above, but a passage below and a crisscross in between that can slip up as it moves either way, halfway between the next 2 that are above this 2, equaling to 2. I'm going to put it on the table. Equaling to 3. Now notice, if I put these 2 together, I separate this one. If I put these 2 together, I separate this one. Then I put this one over here. and this one over here. Then I have to go out and do the same thing and put this one over here and put this one over here. This one is in control of 2, 4, 6. This one is side to side 100% of a one flat side and to this side, but above it only picks up half and half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Around on the outside, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equals to 21. It should be 21, or an equivalent to the outside inside is 21. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold on a second. 5, 6, 7. Then on the outside, 13, 16, and 4 is 20. And these should be 20, 26. So if that's 26, okay, then we have to have on the inside over here 16. 26, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 by 7 is 8. 8. Now we have to make sure 8, 1, and 6. 8 and 1 and 6 equals to 9, and 6 is 15, and 6 and 6 is 12. But let me show it to you easy. 6 and 6 is 12, 1 and 1 is 2. So it's 12 on the inside, right? Then we had to do 2, the opposite would be 5. So they're all going to be 7. Each one of these dice will create a 7. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. The total is 42. So it's impossible. Okay, it's impossible. It's 42. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to count this part over here, right? So I can't count. If I count this part over here, right? I count this part over here. There's my 7 here and my 7 here. 7, 7, 7, 7. 42. 12 on the inside and 8 is 20. 24. 29. So now we're going to put it back. That's 29. This is 6. This is 8. Take this one out, turn it around. This is 11. And this is 13. 29 and 13 equals 42. So it's a total of 42 on the outside and 7 in the middle. 42 and 7 equals 49. 7 times 7, 49. 2, 3, 2. And no matter what you do, the next one in between is 1. The one at the other end is 1. So you can't do any different than this. 7, 7, 7, 3. 7, 7, 14. 7, 7, 7, 21 reverse. 7 and 7 in the center, 14. 21, 14, 21. 21, 14 is 35. 45, 55, 56, the BC world. So regardless of what you have, the total is 42. The average is 21. 1 cube, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equals to 21. This is its own reality because after you get those two over here, okay, I'm just going to take away, whoop. So after you get the 2 like we mentioned, with the 3 in the center, right? You automatically, to re-begin, you put 2 on the outside over here. Same thing. And then you put 1 over here, and then you put 1 over here, but I think I ran out of dice. And you put 1 over here. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you put on the outside again of the 1. So this one has no center. If you want this one to have a center, you must do 5. These 2 will be in between. These 2 will be in between. And then you'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. In between, in between, in between, in between. And then you'll go 1, 2, 3. And then you'll go 1, 2. And then you'll go 1. And with that 1, you have to put on the outside and start again. Anyways, there's also a chain movement. Anyways, Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. There is one thing I'd like to say is, don't even like to get into it. I've said it too often. For those who don't like talking about certain things, there were 3 commercials on TV to do with the elections coming up in 2016. And one of the guys said, don't listen to those other bums, okay, in government, he said. He says they all lie and cheat you. I've never heard this. Another guy says, with our allies in Israel, allies, what is everybody fighting with each other? And if they are fighting with each other, why are they fighting with each other? So if those like this subject or not, I shouldn't involve this in my Mr. Tackpan's numbers, but I just did, because it's not only numbers, it's what I do. And it was all about the anxiety I had, but when I'm full control of my thoughts and I don't fall forward. You see, I sometimes am very cold, but I'm not ignorant, and I'm still paying attention to you. I need to stay cold, because if I get too hot and have too many feelings for everything everybody says, I already know what's going on, I will fall myself. I understand what's going on. I can't drop to those levels. I won't cry sometimes. I'll say yes and just move on. I don't want to see, because I can go down. I know what's happening. I don't need to fall down every time I see a disaster somewhere. I need to make sure I stand up and pick everybody up around me. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus. I'm going to need someone to lift me up the same. Thank you.